Well, it's the morning of day 4. Welcome to another adventure of As the Crow Flies hiking. We're on the Foothills Trail, and it rained for about 15 or 16 hours straight last night. Complete downpour. Everything around us was soaked, but we stayed dry. Today we're going to do probably 16, 17 miles. We're well ahead of schedule, probably right now 7 miles ahead of schedule, and we'll probably add to that today. I'm going to try to get to a place called Flat Rock today, and we'll be climbing. And then tomorrow we'll be climbing Sassafras, Pinnacle, and all the big mountains, so it's going to be a major climb. All right, let's get going. Well, today is day 4 of our epic journey on the Foothills Trail. Big Fist and I started today at Bear Gap. That was where we ended up yesterday after about a 20-mile hike. We had to stop at around 4:30 because the rain came in, and the rain stayed with us for about 16 hours. Today, we woke up with the rain still coming in. We wanted to start probably at 6:37 a.m., but we ended up staying at camp until around 8:45 because the rain was still going. Eventually, the rain stopped with, I guess, within about 30 or 40 minutes, we were completely dry, and it ended up being a great day of hiking. The sun even came out this afternoon, and it was spectacular. So we started at Bear Gap. We found our way to an access road, I guess you could call it. The four-wheelers are those mule vehicles that are 4x4s that are small, compact, and they can carry trail maintenance stuff. They go along these little roads, but it is the trail. And you find that the Foothill Trail goes in and out of that road in multiple ways and crosses it. Most of the day, we were either on that access road or we were on the trail off on the side of the mountain. We entered Gorgie, I think it's called. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. I saw the signs as we came upon it. This sign that says you're entering Gorgie Park, and it's a state park, I believe. I don't know if it's South Carolina, North Carolina. We're in and out of South and North Carolina so much, I don't really know which one we were in. But we entered that state park, and that had some beautiful things to it. Then we made a climb. We climbed up the mountain for a good long ways, and it was a tough climb, but it was still fun. But I was kind of struggling a bit as Big Fist was way ahead of me. On that access road, it goes ups and downs, and you really have some kind of puds that you go in and out as you enter the park and get down to where you're going down toward Laurel Fork or Laurel Fork Falls, and that was our next place that we would go into. We went downhill, and we were looking for the next big feature, which was Toxaway Campground or campsites. And this was spectacular because once we got down toward this lake, it was this beautiful lake, and we got to this huge, long extension bridge that we crossed, and I'll show you a little bit of that now. It's just absolutely spectacular. And then when we got across that lake, I must have missed the sign, but the Toxaway campsites were there. There were picnic tables. There were places to hang your food bag. There was basically a square with those cross ties that you could set up your camp on, though it had been raining, so some of those had some puddles in it. But it was a great place for us to have lunch, and we stayed there for a little bit, saw the rapids as the people crossed the stream. So we started up this a massive climb up and down. I'd heard of it because I'd seen it on the map, and then I heard some people talk about it as we met them on the trail, and it's called Heartbreak Ridge. And yeah, it really does break your heart. There is steps that go all the way to the top, and then you think, okay, we're done here. Then it'll go up some more and go up some more. And I can really see why people struggle with it, and people were talking about it as we got to it. But once we got up to the top, it was a nice ridge walk for a bit. Then you go down some more, then you go down some more. I really can't say which side would have been harder to go up or down, but it was a Heartbreak Ridge and really a neat, iconic feature on this Foothills Trail. Next, we crossed Canebrake Trail and Access, and there was a massive bridge there too. I want to say that they should rename this trail, instead of the Foothills, it should be the Land of 1,000 Bridges. These bridges are spectacular. and they're just put together so well, and there's bridges everywhere. You don't ever have to get your feet wet because the bridges are always there to guide you. But then we crossed a massive bridge and we were in the canebrake area. Then we left Gorgie Park, State Park, and then we went up. Man, it was a climb. And I knew there would be climbs today. There'll be a lot more climbs tomorrow, but there was a lot of climbs going up there from that area. You go along the river and the lake there for a little bit, and then you head up, and then it was a climb. After that long climb, you finally end up leveling out somewhere on one of those dirt access roads. And then you're in and out of those dirt access roads for a long time. You're on the trail, then it winds, you think you're gonna get away from that access dirt road, and then you cross it again. And then you feel like, oh, I could have just walked on this dirt access road. But I guess there is some method to the madness as the trail comes in and out of that dirt road there. After you really head for a long way on the trail and those dirt access roads, you head completely down to Laurel Access and Laurel Falls. And it is a beautiful campsite in a beautiful area down there. You really see the falls, and at the very top, it's just a beautiful falls to see.
Oh my goodness.
And just a beautiful place as we kind of meandered through the streams and then got down to the bottom, and there's a campsite that's not named, and then you get to Laurel Falls, and it is a beautiful falls. There's a bridge that goes over to it, and we even hiked over and looked at the campsites there, and it would have been a great campsite. There's so many great campsites on this trail, and that was just one of the great ones. The next thing you come to is a Dawkins campsite, and that is not very far, maybe a mile from Laurel Fork campsite, and another good campsite down by the river, water access, and then you head on for another, I guess, 2.5, 3 miles to the Virginia Falls campsite. And man, that is spectacular. And I saw the campsite and just how cool it was. Bear cables, there's been bear cables at most of the campsites. But then behind it, I heard the water, and we had another 2 miles to get to Fort Gap where we're staying tonight. But I wasn't really sure what I was hearing. And then as I crossed the bridge, I looked up and there's this beautiful falls. The falls out here are everywhere. We were able to look up and see this waterfall, not quite as big as the one that we saw yesterday or the day before, but still a beautiful just cascade of different waterfalls down in a beautiful place. After that, I was getting tired. We've done about 16.4 today. We weren't supposed to get this far, but we're way ahead of schedule. I think we're about 9 miles ahead of schedule because Big Fist likes to do the big miles, and I'm just tagging along. So we crossed over 5 different bridges. I saw it on the guide map, and I will say the guide map and the paper map that has a waterproof coating on it are great things to have for this trail. The guide map has every little detail to the 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 mileage. And this beautiful picture map is great, and it really keeps you in check. Then we went straight up again. We only had 2 miles, but I would say probably a mile of it was straight up those little steps again. We got to finally the ridge, and then we headed back down. And here we are at a beautiful campsite. You feel like you're in a bowl here. It's the Fort Gap, and it's got a fire ring. It has benches, and we're over here by the water behind us. A beautiful place. So tonight we're staying here at Flat Rock. We've got 2 options tomorrow. We may go ahead. We've got 17.4 miles left. And we're thinking, I don't know, that we'll do the 17.4, but we may not. We may stop at the lighthouse. There's a couple of other campsites on the way down. What I do know is this. We've got 12 miles up and 5 miles down. And it's some of the roughest elevation on the trail yet. We've got Sassafras Mountain, we've got Chimney Top Mountain, we've got Pinnacle Mountain, and then after Pinnacle Mountain, we go straight down for 5 miles. I don't know what we're gonna do. I guess we'll see tomorrow. But thank you guys for joining me for this episode of As the Crow Flies Hiking. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is just basically a rudimentary or basic guide to the Foothills Trail. I'll see you tomorrow on maybe the last day of the Foothills hike or maybe the second to last day. Whatever it is, and I'll see you on the next episode.